Today, we're here to talk about the Lamborghini Sterrato. I'm Justin.
And I am Aaron.
And this is Husman Bros. And for more great content like this, please subscribe down below. If you like the t-shirt, we have links to that as well. Today,
Coolest car ever, man.
Absolutely. We're here with a really special car. If your parents haven't told you yet, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we know a lot of people with amazing cars.
Absolutely.
So today we're here with Cousin Ricky's Sterrato.
Now that's the spiciest sports car.
We're not going to do this whole video with bad Italian accents, just 3/4 of it.
What makes it spicy is this is the last V10. Lamborghini is going with V8s, turboed V8s from here. This is the last V10. It boasts a 5.2 liter V10 that pushes out about 600 plus horsepower. And of course, it would not be an off-road vehicle if it wasn't all-wheel drive.
Right, and it's lifted. So you may say, well, you know, they're just copying Porsche, and they are under the same umbrella. But from what I've read, while the Lamborghini engineers were taking the Urus out for test drives, they said, well, what if we did this in a Huracan?
And that is a lesson for you kids out there. I know you see what we do is glamorous and you all want to be YouTube stars, but what you really need to do is be a Lamborghini engineer so you can have dumb ideas like making an off-road vehicle and then bring it to life. And we will all love you for it.
Right, and we'll do a tour on it. So even though Lamborghini and Porsche are under the VW umbrella, they weren't copying each other's work. These things happened independently, and two different cars. We've been around to Dakar, a couple of Dakars. We haven't had a chance to drive one that we have a chance to drive this, but this is something else. It doesn't lift and lower the way the Dakar does. This one is static the way it is. It is built for performance and it's fully armored underneath. This car stickers out at about $330,000 for this one. They start at $238,000. This one is fairly well optioned, and these are incredible cars.
So Justin, is this a buyer's guide video?
I guess. So here's how you buy one of these cars. You buy a bunch of Lamborghinis first, so the dealership calls you, and then you buy this one. If you have a chance, do it. There are 1,499 of these cars that exist. That's it.
So what are the things that could go wrong with this? What do you need to know?
You need to know a good finance guy, or know your 401k balance can support it. And what you need to know is if you see it, buy it, if you can afford it. That's the buyer's guide.
So maybe it's not as much of a buyer's guide, but let's talk to you more about what makes the Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato the Sterrato and not just a Huracan.
Again, Sterrato, sorry, let me say it right. Sterrato means dirt road.
It might be dark on that dirt road, so of course no off-road vehicle is anything unless it has lights on the front, and this has some amazing LED lights on the front. Of course, they're not just going to throw some big round hellas on there. That would not be Lamborghini. So we've got these great sleek lights on the front end that fit perfectly with the rest of the body. So of course the front end has more lift to it. You can tell it's got lift. It sits a lot higher than a typical Lamborghini, and underneath you've got skid plates. It's fully armored, so if you are driving off-road, you can go over medium-sized rocks. You don't have to go clench teeth scared that you might break the oil pan. Fully armored underneath, so you don't have to worry about extra damage. And you can tell it's higher. This is about 1.7 inches higher off the ground, and 1.7 inches, as Lamborghini owners know, is well above average. I know what you're thinking. Who is really taking a Lamborghini off-road? And to date, I have yet to see any videos aside from maybe a dune run where anybody's taken this off-road, but it still is practical, at least where I live. In Dallas, the roads are terrible, so having all of that body armor underneath the car is gonna protect you when you're going down a bad road, you get through a pothole. It's gonna be much better off than you would be in a typical low Lamborghini without any of that body armor. These are gonna help as well. We got off-road wheels on here. I love the blue accents on the brake caliper, huge drilled rotors, and these tires. Look at all that sidewall. You never see this much sidewall on the Lamborghini, and these are not just some tires that Lamborghini slapped on the Sterrato. Of course not. They actually went to the tire manufacturer and had these specific tires made for this specific car. If you are fortunate enough to be choosing between the Porsche Dakar and the Lamborghini Sterrato, here's one practical thing that is in the plus column for the Lamborghini. 5 lugs instead of the 1 center lock wheel for the Dakar. I think you're probably gonna be better off if you do take this off-road with this rather than that. And of course, no off-road vehicle is complete without some serious body kit on it. This one has great fender flares on the side to protect your fenders from brushes with trees or rock chips that are coming as well. Justin, what are you seeing on this car?
There's a couple interesting things going on with this car that you might not notice unless you really understand what you're looking at. First, you've got the air intake up here. If you're driving down a dirt road, you certainly don't want to be sucking dust up and whatnot into your car. This is going to keep your engine cleaner. And if you're brave enough, I bet there is a wading height that you could drive through a river on this car because your snorkel's certainly above it. You have a roof rack because frankly, there's not much storage in here. The frunk is small. But if you're going off-road, you want to bring your surfboard, you want to bring, I don't know, whatever you bring off-road. That's not my bag, but you have a roof rack to do it with. Now, the other thing that's great about this car is the color. You know, Lamborghinis come in these flashy colors. You always see them, you know, and this is a great color. This is Bronzo Zenith Matte, and it's a matte color car. I love it. I don't think it could be any better. There's another one here in Dallas, actually, that's a tan color, which might give this one a run for its money, but this is just flashy enough on such a subdued and demure car that it's good to go. So let's talk about the inside real quick. Pretty standard Lamborghini stuff. In fact, I don't even want to talk about the inside, it's Lamborghini stuff. Let's go for a drive.
I can talk about it when I'm inside driving it.
Who?
Yeah, we're gonna drive it. We're gonna get this thing a test drive.
Well, you always drive the cars.
I know, because I'm good at it.
I don't know about that. How should we decide who gets to drive this car?
Thumb war?
Thumb wrestling's good. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war.
Oh, tag team.
Good enough. Go do it.
I win. Let's ride. All right, I won the thumb war, so I get to drive, but let's start this thing up and see how it sounds. Obviously in the car now, it's a tight space, but I wanted to show you this before we get it started up. I absolutely love this start button. It's like a rocket switch. You got to open up the red. You got to be serious about driving this car and know that you are in a serious driving machine before you hit this button. So here's how it sounds. Pretty good, huh? Couple of revs for you. Now, what is interesting about this car is that it will not let you rev it too high. I think it only will go up to about 5,000 RPM, but it's gonna take a lot to get it there because I was giving it a rev like I normally would, and it was only getting up to about 3, maybe 4,000 RPM. So you gotta really get into it, and then it's gonna govern you at 5,000. But while it sounded good, it didn't sound as good as it could, because now I'm gonna put it into sport mode and hear this exhaust. This is sport. And then there's also rally mode too, but that has more to do with the rally performance. The exhaust sounds the same, and I think it sounds amazing. What do you say? Should we keep it on this setting for our drive? I think we will. All right, so you've heard how it sounds. I'm getting a little bored with how it sounds. Let's go ahead and take this thing for a test drive. The first thing my eyes go to when I get in this is the tachometer. It revs up to 8,500 RPM. Sick. The interior of this is everything you would hope for in a Lamborghini. I love the trim pieces here. It's just got a real great Lamborghini feel to it. This is cool. The center infotainment console has the glass in it with the Lamborghini logo etched into the glass. So the Lamborghini logo is ever present there. It looks really cool and reminds you exactly what car you're driving. Now, something we have not yet figured out how to capture on camera, but is something that is very nice about this car, is that it does not just have a new car smell, it has a new Lamborghini smell. It's beautiful. I love the rocket switches here, or rocket switch-like switches they've got. Got the Alcantara leather on the door panels, and Ricky has an STO and he loves it. He thinks it's fantastic, but he said this is so much nicer than the STO because it has the STO is very race car-like, so it's very simple and basic, and this has a lot more plush to it than that one does. This is a very smooth ride. You can tell the difference with the high sidewalls and the lift on it. It rides very smooth, but it just feels like it's ready to go 130 miles an hour right now. The interior of it, if you have not sat in a Lamborghini before, it's great. I recommend it for everybody. It is very Lamborghini-esque in typical Lamborghini fashion. There is a cup holder in here, but it is utterly useless. It certainly will not fit your Stanley. But I do really love the accents in this car, the little touches. We showed the blue calipers for the brakes. Inside, it carries that blue through. We've got blue stitching, the blue center line on the steering wheel here as well, and just blue piping on the seats. So really, really nice touch. Beautiful, beautiful car. The shifts in this car are aggressive. They're fast, but they are aggressive. I just went by a school, so I'm sure the teachers didn't appreciate that, but the kids sure did. Sound of that V10 is unmatched. It is a shame that Lamborghini is going to get rid of it, but that just makes this car worth even more. Now, the hard thing about driving this car is the visibility. The rear view mirror is pretty pointless in this car because the back is so crowded up with body paneling you can't even see. There's 4 little tiny windows that I could possibly see something out the back of this. That's it. So really it's important to use my side view mirrors to make sure I know what is behind me. The good thing about driving a Lamborghini though is that a lot of stuff is going to be behind you. And as long as you're driving forward, it really doesn't matter what's behind you. Unless it's the cops, I guess. Oh man, oh, that's not good. I'm gonna go ahead and take it back to the garage now before the Rockwall police come and get me. Well, there it is right there. Would recommend 10 of 10. Get yourself one of these if you can. But if not, please keep watching these videos. Subscribe below, because by you guys watching, you have legitimized us to where people will let us drive their Lamborghini. So come back and watch us drive some.